Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Wispin here, and welcome back to another video here on the Pokecentral network. Now, today, we're going to be doing a bunch of different things around the island, but before we get into that, I just want to say, if you missed yesterday's video, we started the winter themed texture contest here on the Pokecentral network. It's basically a contest where you can create your own submissions. I'll show some of the really cool ones that have already been submitted. They're really amazing and they look really cool. So here's a bunch on the screen, and if you want to take part, you can win up to $100 store credit, $50 to your PayPal if you come in first place, and then everybody else that gets their texture added to the server, which should be around 30 to 50 people depending on how many submissions we get. They will get their Pokemon in-game with 100% IVs, the ability, nature, and growth of their choice at the time that we announce the winners. So you could win some pretty cool stuff, and you could also just get to see your Pokemon in-game, which is kind of a cool reward in itself. Now, if you do want to take part in that, watch yesterday's video. It has all of the rules and different things that you need to do to enter. But yeah, I think I'm going to show off some of the best submissions at the beginning of every single one of these episodes leading up to the episode where we announce the actual winner. Now, if you see your submission on one of these videos, it doesn't necessarily guarantee that you are going to be seeing that Pokemon in-game, but it is a pretty good indication that it might be one of the top 30, top 50 submissions that ends up getting added to the server. So, okay, I'm actually in creative mode. I always forget to change, but let's just go ahead and flip over into survival. What I want to do in today's episode, at least for the start here, is kind of winterify my island. I feel like it'll be a lot better to have for the next couple of months, you know, a snow-covered, really cool. We could add maybe a couple of pine trees, Christmas trees, things like that. Maybe even turn this into some sort of an ice skating ring, just replace all the blocks with ice. That could look cool. Just a bunch of stuff like that, and just kind of winterify or Christmasify our island, since it's not technically winter. Winter doesn't technically start until, I think, December 21st, but it could still be pretty cool. And it's, you know, Christmas is the next holiday coming up now. We've passed Thanksgiving here in the US. Christmas is next. Might as well start getting some snow on the ground, and might as well kind of get into the spirit of winter, the spirit of Christmas. So let's do that today. First thing we need to do is actually get rid of all of this wheat here. It's been here a while, since pretty much Halloween, because I was taking a screenshot with a Pokemon, and it is no longer really needed. So let's go ahead and clean this all up. Now, what I actually want to do is mainly focus on the area just around my house, and I think I'm going to expand the snow out slowly as we get closer and closer to actual winter months and Christmas and everything. So I want to see if the shop has snow blocks that we can buy, and if it doesn't, we'll have to go find some sort of a snowy biome. But let's warp on over to shop, and we'll check out probably Misc blocks. I believe we'll have what we are looking for, and that should be down at the end of the aisle here. So Misc blocks. Is there snow in here? Grass block. It's covered in snow in this icon, but I don't think that means snow. Okay, there is snow blocks. Perfect. Okay, so we could afford 266,775 blocks, but I don't really think I want that many, so let's just buy maybe like 600-700 for now. We're going to turn them into the snow slabs, or what are they actually called? Can we turn them into those? Yes. Okay. Oh, just snow. They don't actually have a name other than just snow, which is kind of weird. I feel like they should have some sort of a different name, but that's probably enough of the snow blocks for now. And we also are going to need some ice, but I think I'm going to come back for that a little bit later on when we're actually working on something that uses that ice. So first things first, let's head on home and let's start placing down some of these snow slabs around the house and kind of piling them up, making different piles of snow, all kinds of things like that to try and get into the Christmas spirit around here. I don't know. I think it'll be cool. And I do want to do some interior decoration. I do need to finish the backside of my house here. I still have yet to do that, but I don't know. I'll probably what could we do with this giant window? I feel like there's probably something cool we could do there, but I don't know. Let me know down in the comment section below if you have any ideas for that. Now, I think I do want to pile it all the way up against the house and cover up these slabs, and it's going to be removed once, you know, winter is over. So that's why I'm using the slabs and not actually the blocks, because it's a lot easier to remove the slabs. You don't have to replace all of these grass blocks here. But yeah, I'm just going to go around. I'm going to cover up this entire area with snow, and I will be back with you guys once I've gone ahead and done that. Okay, so I have some pretty cool plans for this area. Not only do I want to build some sort of a giant Christmas tree here on the island, I also want to start putting down some of the ranch blocks and filling them up with winter or Christmas or, you know, snowy type Pokemon. We could get just a whole bunch of different Pokemon, you know, the Beartic, the Avalugg. I believe that's an avalanche ice Pokemon. Yeah. I can't even think of any off the top of my head, but there are just a bunch of really cool Pokemon that could go really well here. And what is that? What is that bird Pokemon that carries the sack? Kind of resembles Santa Claus. What is that thing called? Ah, Delibird. It would be really cool to just have a whole flock of the Delibird around the Christmas tree, because I feel like that just goes really well with the whole setting. So I'm going to continue to fill in all of this area, and of course we'll make some areas kind of like piled up, you know, against the house and things like that, so it adds a little bit of depth and variety to it. But I feel like this island is going to look so cool once we get it all covered in snow. So obviously this still needs a whole ton of work, but you know, it's making pretty good progress. I decided to add some snow to the roof here as well as over in this section, and I think all of the different layers look pretty cool. And then of course we have some snow banks up against the side of the house. Now the next thing I want to try to do in this spot, there's like some invisible light source right here that keeps melting that one block of snow, and I have absolutely no idea what is causing it, because there's nothing there to light anything up. It's very weird. I think we're gonna put the Christmas tree right here. So right in this general area, like right around here, so that it doesn't block too much of the house, but it's still in kind of a central area right by our door. So I'm going to go ahead and warp on over to the shop and buy all of the supplies that I think we're going to end up needing them. I think we really only need a couple of things, which is going to be the spruce logs, which is definitely the ones that I'm going to go with. I was thinking either spruce or dark oak, but I think spruce will look better for a Christmas tree. Just kind of fits the pine tree. Definitely not going to need that much, but we got it. Okay, and then leaves. Is there leaves for sale in the shop? That is one thing that I have no idea. It would be in misc blocks, I assume. And there's no leaves. Wow, okay. So that's something we need to probably add at some point, because it's definitely not in there, not there. Wool and terracotta, no. Ores and decoration. It could be in decorations, but I kind of doubt it. You know, we could always just use this as a Christmas tree. That could work. Yeah, so none in there. Okay, let me slash home, and you know, this could be a Christmas tree. That would work, like, you know, a Charlie Brown Christmas tree, but not even that bad, because it's got more leaves, but it's not really, you know, it's not the right color for a Christmas tree. Otherwise, I would definitely use it. We'll leave that there, though. Don't really need it. I guess we don't really need this much wood, so most of that can just go up. And we need to get ourselves shears and head out and try and find some trees to shear, because we have absolutely no other way of getting leaves. So I guess we're just going to spam RTP until we eventually find a place that has the right kind of leaves. We could also just plant some trees, shear them, cut them down, but I don't really want to bother with that. Ooh, this could do good. If we can find a forest connected to this biome, because the way Minecraft biomes work is you find a lot of the cold biomes together and the warm biomes together. So if you do find a cold, snowy biome, you have a higher chance of actually coming across one of the forests with the correct kind of trees, but I am not seeing anything anywhere around here. This is a very large snowy plains biome. And we came to an ocean. Okay, keep RTPing until we find it. Desert, that is the exact opposite of what we want. Nothing there, nothing here. Nope. Try that again. Still nothing, but ooh, wow, this is a cool castle. Okay, randomly coming across some pretty cool builds, but not the thing we need. We've been in like every biome except for the one that we actually need. All right, gone through about 40 more RTPs, still haven't found it, but hey, we found one of the trees that we need, so that's a good start. That's definitely not enough leaves for our Christmas tree, but at least it's better than nothing. So we've made a small amount of progress. Oh wait, there's more trees here. Oh, this is going to work perfect. Okay. We don't need an actual taiga biome that actually has a ton of these trees, but this works. There's enough here. So let me go ahead and gather all these up, and we'll start working on our Christmas tree. Okay, so yeah, I think right about here is going to do. I gathered up a ton of leaves. We should have enough, and I feel like we can just place one pillar of logs to try and judge the height of the tree. I want to make it pretty massive, you know, compared to the house. I want it to kind of feel like it's an actual really, really large tree. So we kind of have to go pretty big on the scale. I'm so grateful that I have /fly, because otherwise this would just not work at all. Maybe even a little bit taller than this. Maybe like up to here. That's probably, that might be too tall. I think that's a little bit too tall. So we'll go down maybe to about right here, and that should be good. Okay, so that is going to be the main trunk for our tree, but I feel like it's probably too tall for it to be that thin. And since we're not really going to have any branches, I'm going to make the stump of the tree maybe a little bit wider at the base at least, just like this. And that way it feels like it can kind of support the whole tree all the way up. Now, I don't want to make this too large because, again, we're not going to have any branches or anything like that. So it would feel weird if it gets too large, but I feel like maybe even just that. I mean, that doesn't look good at all, but you know, maybe we should just go with one wide. You know, it looks a little bit weird now, but I feel like that'll probably be fine. That'll work good enough for what we need to do. It's going to be completely covered in leaves, so you're not really going to see it, but it does give a little bit more size to it than just having a 1x1. So let's start placing some of these leaves and see how it ends up. If we need to, we can always just tear it down and start over. Now, with my trees, I always like to start at the base and work my way down, because you never really know how wide the bottom is going to be unless you start from the tip, since it's kind of supposed to go out and down like that, kind of like a curve shape down the way of the tree, or even just a cone. You know, you kind of have to start at the top. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to work my way down and just place a ton of leaves here until we get to the point that I am happy with. So, of course, this is not complete. We still need the final ring, but what I've been doing is kind of building rings as you go, and you can kind of see them. They don't really stand out too much, but you can kind of see them. There's one right here. There's another one right around this area, and then there's a final one that I did right around this area, and that just kind of adds some depth to the tree. Now, you still fill in the areas in between with some leaves, but it kind of makes it go in and then has a little indent, and then, you know, it just adds some depth to it, and I think it looks really, really good. And once we get this final ring on it, we'll just fill in a little bit. I like to also add some spots where there's just nothing, so some bare spots. I feel like that makes it look a lot more natural. And of course, the tree isn't always going to look good from all angles, but that is the same with real life. You know, you got to just turn your tree until you have it facing at the perfect angle. So I'm going to focus on mainly this angle being the best. Okay, so, you know, it's not the best Christmas tree ever, but I'm going to just stick with it. I think it looks pretty cool, and I want to cover up some of the leaves with snow just to add a little bit more to it, and I'm going to hold off on adding any sort of decoration, ornaments, anything like that till later on, because we're really far from Christmas. This is more of just a winter thing at this point, and then later on we can do more with it. But let's go ahead and just cover up some of the leaves. Now, I don't want to cover up everything because some of the leaves you can see are covered up from the sky, so you're not really going to get too much snow on all of them. But if we just fill in, you know, some around the outside, I think it could look pretty cool. And there we go. Our tree is now complete. I actually really like the way that it turns out. I think it looks great next to the house. I think the scale is pretty good. And of course, we still need to fill in a lot more of the island with snow, but I think that's where I'm going to leave that part of the island for now. Next up, I want to go ahead and replace this with ice. So I want to replace the lighter color with regular ice and maybe this with packed ice, and then you can actually skate around on top of this area here. I think that could be pretty fun. And there we go. So this is pretty much all done now. If we place a few more blocks right here, and we have completed the majority of the ice rink. Now, I think it looks pretty cool. I do. The only thing that really doesn't work at all here is this, and I'm trying to think of what color would be best. We could, of course, go with light blue to kind of match this. We could also go with red or green. Those are both kind of Christmas colors. I don't know what would look best, but if you guys want to let me know, you can always do so down in the comments. But the more important thing to let me know down in the comments is which Pokemon should I put in the ranch blocks. I'm going to hold off on adding any Pokemon to them in this episode, and instead I'm gonna let you guys vote on it down in the comment section below, and you can tell me what Pokemon you think should go in these different ranch blocks. Now, we actually need to get some snow blocks, which I think you can just do. I thought you could. Oh, can you not? I thought you could craft back into snow blocks, but apparently not. You have to get snowballs for that, so kind of a painful process. Luckily, we do have 2 snow blocks, so we can go ahead and put these ranch blocks just like that, and they kind of blend themselves in. If you don't put the snow block, it looks a little bit weird, but because of that, we can just place those around kind of randomly. We can put another one like right here, and I want you guys to let me know down in the comments below what Pokemon do you think I should put in these ranch blocks, and then in the next episode, we are going to spend all episode long hunting those different Pokemon. Any Pokemon you want. If you really want to put legendaries in these different ranch blocks, that is fine. Just pick a legendary like Regice that actually fits with the theme. Other than that, pretty much any snow, ice type Pokemon is really going to work. So you guys can just let me know. And I can always buy more ranch blocks. Currently, we have room for, it looks like 18 different Pokemon here. That one I will fix a little bit later on. We'll just place it for now. But I can always get more if you guys come up with some more ideas. Now, I think I'm going to actually change this to... Oh, is this wool? Okay, so let's maybe change this to a light blue wool for now. And if you guys think I should change it, I can. But I think light blue will look pretty good. And we can't really put ice here because there is a sea lantern that would melt the ice. Although not actually sure if ice melting is a thing currently. But let's warp on over to the shop and buy ourselves some light blue wool, which should be right here. Okay, so I did run out of snow. We can always buy more, but for now, that is kind of the general idea. I want to finish filling in the rest of the grass. Probably going to do that off video just because I've already done a lot on video, and I think it's coming together pretty good so far. Now, there is still a ton of things that we can do to the island to make it feel a lot more wintry and Christmassy and all of that stuff. If you have any specific ideas, you can always let me know, and I will make sure to read those in this video, and I will do my best to implement a bunch of your guys' ideas here on the island. But I feel like we're getting into the spirit of the holiday season, and you know, I really like doing stuff like this with my island, changing it up. A little bit of a change of scenery because it does get a little bit boring after a while. One more thing I want to do in this episode is actually start to fill in some areas around these boats with ice. Now, I don't know how exactly this is going to end up looking, but I'm just going to kind of start placing some ice blocks along here as if all of the water around the island has started to freeze, and I feel like that could end up looking pretty cool, especially with the boats. Actually, that is weird. What is that? Okay, so the fossil display block you can see very clearly through the ice, which is kind of strange. I might actually get rid of that since we're not really using it. But for now, let's go ahead and just continue placing some of this ice around here, and we put it up against the boats. But I don't want to go all the way to the complete front of the boat. I just kind of want to go to maybe about right here, and then we'll kind of have the ice kind of break off. We'll have some chunks of ice floating out, not connected to the main part here, and of course we'll have some random holes in the ice, because that'll add a little bit of depth and detail to it. So let me go ahead and start filling in the rest of this area, and we'll see how it turns out. So again, just a small little chunk of what we actually need to do to make it look really cool, but I do think this looks pretty awesome along the sides of the island here, and I think I'm going to probably wrap it around at least the whole back half of the island, so at least from there all the way out and around, and then maybe back and around, and maybe even go around the whole thing. I don't know for sure, but that is one more thing that kind of adds to it. Another sort of incomplete project, I would say, but a pretty cool start. And what is that weird? Oh, there was a weird... When you get too far away, it has a weird visual glitch, but that is okay. So, yeah, some pretty good progress to the things that I want to do here on the island. One thing I did want to test out is actually taking this. So let's just actually take this one here because it doesn't even have a snow block anyways. Putting this in the tree somewhere and actually putting our Articuno here. So if we break that and that, we place this. I can fix this later on, but if we place this here, and then we put our Articuno in, which I'm going to have to put it into our PC, maybe box 28 here. Box 28, there we go. Let me get a different Pokemon for our actual party. And then let's put our Articuno in here. And where does that guy go? Okay, kind of in the tree. That's fine. You know what? That looks pretty cool. So let me grab some leaves. We'll cover this area up here, and then I think we'll leave our Articuno there for now. So there we go. We got a pretty cool bird in our tree now. And of course, that's not going to be the only Pokemon that we put in these ranch blocks. I need your guys' suggestions so that in the next video, we can go on hunts out into the world, try to find a bunch of really cool Pokemon to finish this project up. Now, off video, I am going to go ahead and place snow on the rest of the roof. I'm going to fill in the rest of the grassy area on the island, maybe even add some more ice around the island, and then I'm going to go ahead and check the comments of this video and see what ideas you have for other things that we can add to the island to make it feel a little more like winter. And yeah, I think that's actually pretty much it for all of the things I wanted to get done in today's video. Alright guys, so I know we didn't really do too much related to Pokemon in this episode. I like to take maybe every 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 10 episodes and do stuff that absolutely does not involve anything to do with Pokemon, just to kind of break things up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like on it. I'm really liking how the island is looking at this point. Of course, still need to do a lot more work over there in that area and stuff like that. But a big chunk of it is actually already mostly done and already is starting to come together pretty awesome. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.